A long time ago, in colonial Delhi, the British had a venomous snake problem. Cobras were coiling in doorways, gardens, and the dark corners of warehouses. Officials offered what looked like a clean fix. They paid out cash for every dead cobra handed in. The bounty worked beautifully at first. Dead snakes poured in, and the government celebrated a quick victory. But the wild cobra population actually grew. The locals had done the math the officials ignored. It was easier to breed snakes at home, kill them, and turn them in for the reward than to hunt them in the shadows. Cobra farms sprang up across the city. When the government realized they'd been played and scrapped the bounty, the breeders did the only rational thing left. They released their now worthless snakes into the streets. This historical blunder is now known as the cobra effect. It is the ultimate example of what happens when a smart-sounding decision collides with the real world. The administrators who designed that bounty weren't stupid. They just stopped thinking one step too early. That single habit, stopping at the first obvious answer, is an invisible biological mechanism actively sabotaging your modern career and personal choices today. Investor Howard Marks draws a line between two kinds of thinkers. First-level thinking is simplistic and superficial. You see a problem, reach for the obvious solution, and act. Snakes are bad? Pay for them. A stock looks good? Buy it. You're tired? Grab another coffee. It asks one question and accepts the first answer. Second-level thinking is deep, complex, and convoluted. It refuses to stop at the first answer. It asks what happens after that answer plays out, how people react, how systems bend, and what new problems quietly create. If second-order thinking is so much more powerful, why is it so rare? The answer comes from a man named Herbert Simon, and it's one of the most important ideas in psychology. Simon introduced bounded rationality, arguing our brain power is fenced in. He used chess as proof. To calculate every optimal move, you'd evaluate more positions than molecules in the universe. No computer can do that. Because perfect rationality is biologically impossible, our brains are forced into a permanent state of compromise. We rely on dangerous cognitive shortcuts just to survive a world that throws 1,000 decisions at us daily. Simon called our primary shortcut satisficing, a blend of satisfy and suffice. Instead of searching for the best possible option, we search only until we find one that is good enough, and then we stop. You don't drive the entire lot to find the mathematically perfect parking space. You take the first decent one you see, and you walk. Most of the time, this is a gift. But when we combine a good enough solution with our biological craving for immediate rewards, we become blind to delayed disasters. A decision that produces a quick, visible win feels right, even when the long-term cost is enormous. This creates what economists call a perverse incentive. In 2005, an international scheme paid companies to destroy a nasty industrial pollutant. The payments were generous. Factories manufactured more coolant purely to generate waste gas and collect millions. The pattern repeated centuries earlier when a city offered cash for rat tails. Soon, residents were breeding rats and snipping the tails, because a live rat was a renewable source of bounties. In both cases, the designer measured one number, never asking how a self-interested person would bend the system to hit that number the lazy way. We satisfice on complex information in our own lives, too. We reach for cage-free eggs because the label clears a threshold in our heads, even if we don't understand the difference between cage-free and free-range. Our conscience relaxes, and we move on. Whether you are writing international treaties or buying groceries, whenever you optimize for a quick win without asking what behavior you are actually encouraging, you are unknowingly building a cobra farm. We simply cannot delete our biological programming, but we can build deliberate guardrails to push past the good enough finish line on the choices that actually matter. The first tool is the chain. Ask and then what repeatedly to reveal hidden consequences. The second tool is the time test. Projecting out 10 minutes, 10 months, and 10 years forces delayed consequences to show up, defeating short-term temptation. The third tool is mapping the ecosystem. Ask who else your decision touches, competitors, family, or customers. Ask the question that Delhi officials missed. If I create this reward, how will a clever person try to game it? This mental model reveals the full arc of reality. It moves past the single frozen frame of first-level thinking and plays the entire film. It tracks how every action sets a system in motion, proving that people adapt, systems push back, and every consequence creates a consequence of its own. The next time a solution feels instantly obvious and perfectly comfortable, treat that mental click as a biological warning sign. Do not stop searching. Ask the second question, trace the chain, and imagine how the system will bend before the snakes hit the streets.